Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Black is Amazing. I am Omar Ryan, also known as Melanin, and today's message is a special message for Emancipation Day. Today, August 1st, marks the 190th anniversary for emancipation in Jamaica and the wider so-called British West Indies, or should I say former British West Indies, English-speaking Caribbean islands. Now, the major, what I would say, states in the Caribbean community, also known as CARICOM. So today marks 190 years since Emancipation Proclamation in 1834. Full emancipation came in 1838 on the same day, August 1st. There was apprenticeship for 4 years between 1834 and 1838, where a certain segment of the population had to do some work on plantations. So, in my view, today marks 186 years since full emancipation. Anyway, we want to say give thanks for all those who have been tuning in so far to my channel, Black is Amazing. I've done two videos so far on Jamaica, the greatest country in the world, and the first one is still being viewed, I would say, nicely by the public, and I appreciate that viewership and the comments that people are leaving on the videos. So, for today, I want to say, first thing, happy Emancipation Day to you all out there. Whether you are in Jamaica, you are in the wider Caribbean, or you are in the diaspora. Today is a very significant day. Today marks 186 years since our people gained freedom after enduring almost 400 years of chattel enslavement on plantations in the Caribbean and brutal treatment through slavery, through not just slavery, not just through enslavement, but the colonial imperial servitude comes with black people, black people being treated less human, inhumane than how any other humans have been treated. And I want to underscore that transatlantic trade in African bodies and chattel enslavement is the worst crime on record against humanity. And I want to add my voice to the call for reparations for the hundreds of years of brutality that my ancestors, our ancestors, black people's ancestors, endured. So today marks the triumph of determination, courage, and that unquenchable desire for freedom, liberty, and being treated as humans with all the civil, political, and economic benefits and rights that come along with freedom. It was Marcus Garvey who said that we are going to emancipate ourselves from mental slavery because whilst others might free the body, none but ourselves can free the mind. And this was echoed by Bob Marley in his song Emancipate Yourselves from Mental Slavery, which is a world renowned song that a lot of us love. And we want to just say that it is full time that we as black people liberate ourselves mentally. And it is not an easy task because after 186 years of full slavery, in Jamaica and the English speaking Caribbean, many people are still living in conditions not compatible with freedom. It's like they're still living under enslavement. And so it is our collective duty to our people to ensure that we do our part to liberate our people from the economic pressures of life, poverty, and low self esteem and low self worth that still permeates in segments of our population. Emancipation is a journey, and it not only and it never began in 1834 or 1838. There were significant milestones among our people that contributed to the ending of slavery in 1838. One of the first things that contributed to this was slave revolts across the British Caribbean. Number one was the Bussa slave war or slave revolt that happened in Barbados in 1816. And number two would be the Demerara revolt or war against the system that happened in former Demerara Essequibo region, now Guyana, in 1823. And the famous Christmas revolt or war that took place in Jamaica in 1831, led by a Baptist deacon, Samuel Sharp. These three slave wars, or revolts, as some would say, contributed significantly to the British hastening their steps to end emancipation in Jamaica and the British West Indies at the time. And so I want to encourage my audience to learn about our history, teach your children about our history. We have a brilliant history characterized by determination, persistence, determination, and that unquenchable desire for humanness, to be seen as a human being, someone with dreams, aspirations, goals, a people with intelligence who can carve our own destiny, self determination. We can be self reliant and self determined in a society that is just and fair. And that is what we have been fighting for since 1838. To live in a society that is just and fair. Because black people, African people's existence in the West has been characterized not just by slavery, enslavement, chattel enslavement, that is when you're owned on a plantation by a person. And that is in respect to chattel enslavement that took place in the British Caribbean and the United States. In the United States, slavery ended in 1865 after the American Civil War of 1865, which was 27 years after emancipation in Jamaica and the English-speaking Caribbean. I want to encourage you to not just read about your history, but to be steadfast towards your personal goals and laying a proper foundation for our children. The world is still prejudiced against African people, black people, and the recent Black Lives Matter movement in America and the reason for it should be something that we look at and examine it. The killing of George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, and several others are examples to show us that slavery, not slavery, but the remnants of slavery, racism, and prejudice against black people, because when slavery ended, the system controlled by white people at the time was designed to oppress black people and exploit us under industrialization and modern political systems. That's the reason why you find that in the US, in England, in the Caribbean, black people are still living a certain way in terms of not having the things, the material things that we need to push ourselves. We are not secured when it comes to food, healthcare, education, and wealth. The persons that benefited from our enslavement are the richest. Whites, no doubt, but white people have the largest chunk of finances and they are the owners of the means of production. And that is where we need to get to become owners of the means of production. Not just persons who work in jobs, but own our own businesses. And so I want to encourage you to own businesses and make a stake, a claim in this earth for yourself. Our ancestors work for it. Our ancestors' dream is for us to not just be free beyond chains, but for us to be the best that we can be. And so I want to close my message by encouraging you to be steadfast. And as we recognize this important day in our history, and I think this Emancipation Day in general, is the most important holiday to us, regardless of Independence Days for our various nations. In Jamaica, we'll be celebrating Independence Day in another 5 days. And Trinidad will celebrate it, I believe, at the end of August as well. That's the 30th of August. Anyway, be steadfast and remember the struggles, the blood that was shed, the determination, the fight, and the fervent march towards liberty that our ancestors fought for. And be true to yourself. And remember, black is amazing and love in the house. And thank you very much for subscribing and keep sharing and keep commenting. Look out for my video, the 10 greatest Jamaican athletes, to be dropped very soon. Respect and thank you for being a part of this community. Keep it growing.